Hey, everybody, this is Larry Lane. Just want to welcome you all to our Saturday training. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be in the world. I'm going to just be talking for a couple of minutes right here at the beginning. I'm going to throw it to the amazing Randy Schroeder. I want to thank Liz for being on with us this morning and playing music for us. She's always there when we need in a pinch. But what I really want to talk about this morning is with Nélo Life, just setting a couple of goals. This is the perfect time. We're going into the holidays. There's a lot of people that need to be making extra money. There's a lot of people that are traveling. So this is a great time to be sharing your Nélo tour and let people go in and look at the travel savings. Everybody travels for the holidays. Maybe they've got family members that are coming in. You can reach out to somebody and say, hey, look, let me just price the hotel on my new travel engine and just see if I can get a better deal for you. So the two goals that I want everybody, if you're on the Zoom, what I think we've done at Nélo Life is we've given you the perfect blueprint to make an incredible business, residual income, save some money on travel, get some incredible nutrition products. We've got everything laid out for somebody to come in, start from scratch, start sharing, follow the blueprint, and build a huge business. So the first goal that I want everybody, if you're on this Zoom right now and you are not waived, you literally over the next 30 days, make that a goal that you want to get yourself waived. That means you're going to bring in 5 affiliates that want to come in and start a $79 global business that can literally make them extra income, save them on travel, change their life. So what that means is you're going to go out, you're going to bring in 5 new affiliates for $79. You're going to get waived. But that means you're not going to ever have to pay that $59 membership fee each month. So now your business, you're in the clear, you don't have any monthly membership, and you're making money, you're making your commissions. What's also going to happen is when you bring in your 5 affiliates and get waived, you're losing the 59, but you're going to make $125 because you're bringing in 5 people. You're going to get 5 of those starter bonuses, $125. Okay. Let's say that those 5 people, when they come into the business, if they've already put in $79, they've already got their skin in the game. Now, let's say those 5 people went over to the Life shop and all they did was look and they're like, wow, this Stellamar looks great. $79.95. Let me go order 1 bottle of that Stellamar. Look at all these amazing testimonials. If those 5 people went out and just each bought 1 bottle of Stellamar, you're going to get 40%, 40%, 40%, 40%, 40%. So that's about $27 a bottle. That's another $135 that you just made. So really starting with 5 people, you got waived. You've already got people in the business that are in there looking in the Life shop. They're starting to promote the business. So now I want you to go to number 2. The second thing I want you to do, I want everybody on the Zoom. First of all, you're going to get waived. Your second goal is to hit 3-star. Okay. You brought in 5 personal people, you're waived. Those 5 personal legs are already starting to build their business. Your goal is to get just 5,000 volume in your community. So 5,000 volume, and you've already got 5 different legs started. Remember, you can't have more than 60% in one leg. So you're working with those 5 people. You're getting them to duplicate and getting them to start building their communities. Once you get that 5,000 in community volume, you're now a 3-star. So this all started with 5 people. You got waived. Now you're going to hit that 5,000 in volume. Guess what? You're going to make another $350 cash. So literally, if you're doing the math, you're already sitting at around $600. And all you did was bring in 5 people. They got 1 product each. And now they're just starting to duplicate a little bit because you're plugging them into the trainings. And now you've already hit 3-star. Okay. So those are your 2 goals. Just literally in the next 30 days, I want you to get waived, bring in your 5 affiliates, start making that starter bonus, start, getting people plugged in. And then I really want you to hit 3-star so you can earn that extra $350 right here before the holidays, which can help a lot of people. The other thing I want you to look at is once you hit 3-star, that means your community's already got 5,000 in volume. So you're already starting to pick up that momentum. So let's look at your next step is going to be hitting 4-star. So 4-star, that just means that you've gone from 5,000 in total community volume. Now you've got 12,500 in your community, which means those 5 people you brought in to get waived, they're starting to duplicate. They're starting to plug in. They're starting to get trained. Now, what does it mean when you hit 4-star? Let's look at the power of hitting 4 4-star. And I think we had 13 people hit 4-star just in the last 3 weeks, all over the country. So, and all over the world. So what happens is once you hit 4-star, you start to go into that global pool. And that is where we take 2.5% of the memberships from all around the world, people that are paying that $59, you start to get a percentage of that. I think we've got about 24 stars that this month split, and I think it was about $160 per person. So everybody that was a 4-star and above, once those $59 memberships came in, all 20 of those people made an extra $160. Let's look at where that bonus is going. Just so everybody knows right now, the biggest team right now growing, I know Nigeria and USA maybe a second, but right now, Team China is absolutely blowing the doors off this thing. I think they've added about 300 new people in the last 30 days. So let's look at those 300 memberships in China. Fast forward 60 days, let's say 2,000 or 3,000 people came in from China. Now let's look at the 4-star bonus that was at $160. Look at where that is just starting to grow. And that comes in month after month after month. And as China, Nigeria, Scotty's in Thailand right now, Carrie in Canada, doesn't matter. Once you're a 4-star, every membership from all over the world, you're getting a cut of that. So what I will tell you as an owner, we've got more and more tools. If you didn't see the breakdown that myself and Eric Caparisi did on the revenue plan, go in and look at that. Your community can absolutely pay you amazing money. There's so many ways to make money in this comp plan and this revenue plan, and all you've got to do is just plug into your community. The other thing I'll say as my last tip is just reach out to people. I was in North Carolina this past week. I had a lot of downtime with my mom. I went back on Facebook Messenger. It goes back for years and years and years and years. I'm still back in 2022. I haven't even gone to 2021, 2020, but they're there. But what I do is I reach out to people and I say, hey, Sherry, I haven't talked to you in a while. I saw your name popped up in my messenger. Just wanted to see how you're doing, how life is treating you, what you're up to these days. Sherry's going to write me back and she's going to say, I've actually started this. I really like this. And I'll say, hey, Sherry, send me some information. I want Sherry to know that I'm engaging. Let me see what she's doing. And then as soon as I get the information back, I'm going to say, this looks great. Life has been good for me too. I started a new company. I'm helping people travel. I'm helping people save money. I'm helping people build that residual income. And I've got a global company. Do you mind if I share some free information about my company? Right when she says absolutely, I'm going to send her that Nélo tour, because the Nélo tour literally does all the explaining for you. I don't know what Sherry's got going on in her life, but when I send Sherry that tour, if she needs to make money, she's going to see that on the free tour. If Sherry's got a trip coming up to Hawaii, she's going to go on that free tour and she's going to test that search engine and she's going to test that travel. So when you give out the free tour, all you're doing is promoting the membership. Let people take away what they want and they're going to start building their business. So, but this is the time right now coming into the holidays. It's time to set goals for yourself. So again, number one, if you're not waived, go out, bring in 5 affiliates, get waived, earn that $125, get them to start ordering some products. And then number 2, I want everybody to go out and literally work to hit 3-star. So you get that extra $350 cash bonus. And you can get that 5,000 in volume. If you had a couple of team members in your community that went in and got a few bundles, you've already got that 5,000 right there. And then of course, once you're rolling from that volume with 5,000, you literally, with just a little bit of duplication, plugging your people in, now you've hit that 12,500. Now you're a 4-star. Now you're already making your matrix, you're making your matches. And now on top of that, you're going to get that 2.5%, that bonus, which links us to all the memberships around the world. So everybody, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up the incredible Randy Schroeder, and he is just absolutely a dynamo. I know he's been to Nigeria. He's been all over the world building Nélo Life, and Randy has planted his flag just like myself, just like Liz, so many great leaders. We have something different here at Nélo Life. We are building a legacy, and I truly believe what we've got is going to change millions of people's lives, but it starts with the people that are right here on this Zoom. You're in the right place at the right time. All of you showed up this morning for a reason, and I really believe we've got what you need here at Nélo Life. It's just about taking a couple of steps, holding yourself accountable, getting in there, plugging into the blueprint that we've laid out, and just literally start having success here. So Randy, buddy, I'm going to turn it over to you. I really, really appreciate you being on, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Larry.
Hey, Randy,
thank you. Okay, so folks, my friend and I do some things that you could do to get started and to become at the very outset profitable. I'm going to describe something to you quite different. I'm going to describe to you how to make a fortune. That's the truth. I'm going to describe to you how to accomplish things that defy description. And I'm very careful whenever I reflect upon my own past experience, because the past doesn't matter. It's the today, it's the tomorrow, it's the future. That's what matters. We can't live in the past, but we can learn from it. And the fact is that the principles that I'll describe to you in the next few moments are principles that have resulted in people in my organizations over the course of the last 33 years, not the companies of my association, but my organization has done more than $5 billion in sales. And people in my groups have been paid in excess of $2.7 billion in commissions over that period of time. I'm going to talk to you about how to make that kind of thing happen for you. Of course, that's all going to be dependent upon our own goals and objectives, but I'm going to talk to you not about how to make a little bit of money. I'm going to talk to you about how to have a breakthrough financial experience. I'm going to compress a few ideas into a short few moments. First, we have to contemplate whether the elements required for success are in fact in place. And I'd like for each one of you to imagine for a moment a whiteboard. And typically I draw on whiteboards, and I know you can't read what I write. That's why I've had Samantha start to ask her to help me and make it legible when I do the live presentations. But imagine a whiteboard and imagine 3 separate columns. The first column are the series of factors that must be in place from the entity itself. The elements required for success are known, they're proven, they're not controversial. And by the way, also, before I even go into that, I want to focus this conversation on our USA membership. I know that people all over the world will watch the recorded link. I glanced at the attendee list, and I believe that everyone on this session right now live is residing in and principally has circles of influence in the United States of America. And certainly I share the enthusiasm that Larry's expressed for what's going on in China. I am unbelievably enthusiastic and excited about what's going on in Nigeria. I'm personally involved with that. Today, one of my dear friends became the first 4-star in the Russian states, and I'm unbelievably excited about that. What, babe? I'm sorry, 3-star. Famis became a 3-star today. And I'm so excited about those things. But I right now want to talk to those of you who live in the United States of America, who may not be especially encouraged when you say, well, my gosh, seems like these rank advancements that I'm seeing day after day, they're in China, or they're in Russia, or they're in Lithuania, or they're in Kazakhstan. So I want to talk to those of you who are my neighbors geographically residing inside the US of A. And let us each ask ourselves this question. If we have these 3 columns on a whiteboard, the first column are the elements which must be required for success. And the first column would start with a physical or non-physical, a physical or a virtual product, which matters to people. And so now I'll just ask you all the simple question. At Nélo Life, do we offer one or more product or service that matters to you? If you're so fortunate to be living in the United States of America, where our entire offering is available right now, I look with fascination at the successes being had in markets where we have only small parts of our offering yet available, like what we experienced 4 and 5 months ago. 4 or 5 months later, people in other markets will start to have the entire offering. But where we are here in the United States of America, each one of you ask yourself this question. Does this company offer at least one product or service that matters to you as an individual? I know in advance the answer is yes. Now, let me ask you a broader question. Take yourself, your own consuming and using needs out of the equation entirely. Does this company offer products and services that would likewise matter to other people, those that you know and those that you don't know yet? In advance, I know the answer is yes. The second element that is required for success is a company that can execute. And so let me ask you all this question. Has there been a single time since your involvement with Nélo Life where you have made excuses for this company? Have you had to apologize for this company? Have you had anyone contacting you saying, my products didn't arrive on time? Have you had anyone saying, my gosh, the customer service is not responsive? Have you had anyone tell you, I feel like the ownership and management doesn't care about me, that they're not really interested in my success? A company that can execute. Ask yourself the question, Is there anything, I'm going to just state it this way, a different way. Instead of asking yourself the question, I'll tell you my own reality. Having been full-time involved in this micro commerce or network marketing method of operation for the last 33 years, almost 34 now, I have never seen a company execute as effectively as this one does, even if the company was 15 years old, doing $800 million in sales. I have never seen a company execute like this one does. I've never made an excuse for this company, and I'm confident that I will never have to. I don't apologize for the company. I speak with pride and confidence and certainty and conviction about what the company is and about who the people are that operate it. The third element that's required for success is timing. Timing that is clear, that is obvious, that is beyond refute. Over the course of my career, I've made the mistake, or I've fallen into the trap of describing mostly timing as it would impact the company. An example would be, you hear me talking about the introduction of the Stellamar product line and the Stellamar product and the Melts product line, and talking about the fact that these play straight to the leading edge of the baby boom demographics. Well, see, that's about company timing. That's about product timing. I've come to understand this, the timing that matters for each of you who are now participants on this session, those who are reviewing this content or who may review it later in a recorded fashion. Ask yourself this question. Are you at a point in time where the way it has been is no longer good enough for you? Are you as an individual at a point in time where it might be money, it might be social interaction, it might be relationship development, it might be personal skill development, character development, but are you at a point in time in your life as an individual where the way that it has been is not the way that you want it to be in the future? Let me make that statement a little more strongly. Are you no longer willing to accept yesterday's outcome? If you're no longer willing to accept yesterday's outcome, then your moment of timing is correct. And that is the moment of timing that matters the most. That's the one. So it's a product that matters to people. It's a company that can execute. It is your individual timing. Having determined that your individual timing is right, how does one determine that? If yesterday's outcome is simply no longer good enough, if you feel like your greatest success is behind you, you're looking in the rearview mirror at the greatest success, that's not rewarding, that's not fun. If you don't feel like the future is the best it's ever been, your moment in timing right now, grab a hold of Nélo Life and become one of the reasons that that which is destined to occur occurs a little bit more quickly. And then the compensation plan. You know, it's taken me a little while to wrap my arms fully around this. And sometimes I fall into the mistakes of ego and pride and arrogance. I think I know what there is to know about network marketing compensation. I've never built a forced matrix before. I've never participated in this kind of a company. And so it's taken me a little while to wrap my arms around it. I can now show you whoever you are. I can show you the behaviors required for you to accomplish your objectives within the confines of this compensation plan. There are components, there are elements of it that are specifically designed for those folks who just need to make a few dollars. I will tell you, it's easier to make a few dollars in Nélo Life than any other direct selling company I have ever seen. People who could earn nothing elsewhere can earn something here. Why? Because the entry fee can be so low. Notice I said can be, not by definition will be for you, because that depends upon your goals, your desire, your willingness to work, and so on. But it can be so low. And because the product offering is so extremely broad, that you can find yourself here. Your focus on the business development, product offerings, and so on may be consistent with mine. It might be different, but the product and service offering is so broad that you can find yourself in it and find comfort in it. I will tell you that when I know you and I know your goal and your objective, I can show you specifically and exactly which components in this compensation plan you will need to activate, you'll need to actualize in order for your objective to be met. It's taken me a little while, but I've become a deep believer, and I have joy as I contemplate the compensation mechanisms. Quite different than anything I've done before. And it's taken me, as one who's lived 5 months in the industry, it's taken me 33 years in the industry, it's taken me 5 months to be able to create strategies within a new compensation mechanism that I did not understand. It's taken me 5 months to learn how to help a new person create a strategy which would enable him or her to accomplish their objectives inside the compensation plan. I'll check it out of the box in the comp plan. Next comes training and support. Now, folks, I need you to understand, this is your value add. Do you make the product? No. Do you have the capacity to change the product offering? Probably not. Are you the company? No, you're not. I know you're not. I know who the owners are, and it's not you. And so you're not the company. The timing, that is completely unique to you. The compensation plan, you cannot change. And so where is your value add? Your value add is in training and support. Why have I earned what I've earned in my career? It is not because of any particular product, because I'm not responsible for that. It's not because of any particular company. I've never owned one. It's not because I make somebody else's timing right. I've never written the compensation plan. Why have I earned what I have earned? And by the way, that's greater than $1 million the last 29 years in a row in direct selling. Why has that happened? Well, the evidence is that because I've been involved in a few different companies, different compensation mechanisms, different product ideas, and yet my outcome has always been remarkable because my value add is training and support followed by leadership. That is also your value add. Right now, if I ask you, can you tell me at this moment, what is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10? How do you execute it? What's the upside for proper execution? What's the downside for improper execution? If you know those answers, you're partway the way home. If you've got a bunch of people in your group who know those answers and who act upon that information, you're about to build a leadership structure that has no limitation in what it can provide. And so the 5 elements that I've always talked about, product, company, timing, comp plan, training, and support, I've now added and amended and appended that to include a 6th element required for success, that being leadership. And folks, I will tell you that the first elements, the first 4, are as clearly and obviously in place in this company as anything I have ever seen in my decades in the industry. Where then is our shortfall? Our shortfall is in the 5th and the 6th element. We lack enough people. And that, by the way, is why you're here today, to become one of the next additions, to become one of the next contributors to a leadership structure that knows and understands clearly what the pattern of activities are that are required for success, and then evidences leadership by living and embodying those elements. I want you all to know that you are a part of the opportunity, that in many respects, you are the most important part of the opportunity. You cannot simply get involved in Nélo Life and suddenly have the income wheel start turning. It is when the opportunity becomes more valid because of your unique individual participation. That's when you get the key in the lock of success. And so the first 4 elements, they are the same for all of us. The 5th and the 6th element, they are not the same for all of us. That is your value add. And so I'm going to ask you to query yourself, are you willing to do that which is required to become a value add in the training and support in the leadership process? And by the way, make no mistake, teaching only has value if you have a group. Isn't that right? Providing leadership to whom if you have no group? And so the first behavior, the first series of behaviors which lead to the first required outcome is what? To personally enroll more people. There is not an individual in this company today who has yet personally enrolled enough people to accomplish their goals. I can tell you that. That would include me. I'm one of the most prolific recruiters, not just in this company, but in the network marketing industry. And I can tell you that I have not yet enrolled enough people in this company in order for me to accomplish my objectives. And that is why I stay so aggressively engaged in that process. Well, that's the first column. The second column is that knowledge and understanding and ability to execute the 10 steps required for success. This is not a new member orientation, so I'm not going to go through them. But if you don't know them right now, then I can promise you, you're not making as much money as you want to. If you don't know and understand those 10 steps and how to execute them, you're not making as much money as you want to, and you're not about to. That is the truth. And so that's a real simple task. Are you willing to gather the knowledge and develop the skills required to properly execute, to demonstrate and execute those steps within the context of your organization? And then finally, it is to provide leadership. Leadership is not simply telling someone how to act upon those steps or teaching them what they are. Leadership is doing it with people. That's what it's about. And by the way, many years ago, I became a student of leadership, and I've remained a student of leadership. And one of my favorite quotes of all time is Dwight D. Eisenhower. And he said, the art and essence of leadership is to do this. It is to cause other people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. That is the art and essence of leadership, causing other people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. Not because they feel pushed by you to do it, not because it is to accomplish something that is not inside their heart. It is to show them a mechanism to accomplish what they want to do, then show them a roadmap to it. That is the art and essence of leadership. The first 4, that in that first column, the first 4 elements are the same for all of us. Our value add is in that 5th and that 6th. How far along are you advanced in the process to learn, grow, develop, and become that which we must? And then, of course, the third column, if we know the pattern of if we know what the elements are that are required for success, if we know what the pattern of activities is, then it comes down to our own daily action plan. And that becomes as unique as each one of us, and it's predicated upon what our skills are. More importantly, it's predicated upon what our talents are. Most importantly of all, it's predicated upon our willingness to work and work and work and work and refine those God-given talents into skills which become beneficial to others, then apply those skills to the 10 steps required for success, lay that over the top of the elements required for success, which are abundantly in place. When you express leadership, then number 5 and number 6 have become a reality. And then the only logical outcome is positive financial results. Positive financial results as the direct result of other people having positive and personal results. Now, I've said a few things. One word I've said over and over and over again. Don't know if you picked it up. I repeated it several times. I said willingness, 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 willingness. You know, I think back to the earliest time in my career, and I recognize that there are plenty of people on here today who suffer, who struggle financially. I know that to be true. And my work in places like Nigeria has made me come to the realization that none of us living in the United States of America need to be struggling financially. If we're spending more money than we make, well, we should stop spending more money than we make. The most destitute person in America would be considered to be a person of privilege if they were living in Nigeria right now. That's the truth. And so there's no reason for any of us to struggle financially, but that's another topic. That's another thought. There's a lot of knowledge and wisdom that has to come along before those things become reality for us. But I remember that I was one of those who was earning more money than most people in the world can imagine. When I went to that first network marketing meeting, and I was broke, was completely broke, and I thought that I had no money whatsoever. And I remember the gentleman that was on the stage speaking, and I'll use his name because I'm saying it in such positive terms. His name was Craig Bryson. Craig was and is one of the preeminent leaders in the network marketing industry. And I think he's by and large retired now, but he is a person who I remember when he first started speaking, suddenly my eyes were open. Literally, my eyes were opened to the possibilities because he had such a gift of communication. I'm sure he still does. It's been many years since I've seen him. But I remember Craig stood on stage and he said, I'm committed. I am committed. And I want to ask all of you right now, are you committed? And he said, I am committed. And then he explained why he was committed. I'm committed, said Craig, because I have 10 kids. And then he described why it was that he was so committed, calling each of those 10 children by name and describing the outcomes they wanted in their lives and why he was so deeply committed to help those people that he loved, the people that meant the most to him in his life, to accomplish their goals and objectives. He said, I'm committed because I have 10 kids. And, you know, later in that session, this was my second presentation. I went to the first one on February 9th of 1990 as a solo individual, and I came back to a similar event 90 days later, and I had 42 people with me, some of whom had already joined me in my business, my very first experience as an adult in network marketing after knocking on doors as a child when I was 9 years old. But I went and my eyes were opened, my ears were opened, my heart was opened at that very first event. I went back home and I worked as hard as I knew how to work, as intelligently as I could work, given my then existing set of knowledge. And I was able to arrive back at that next function 90 days later, and I had 42 people with me. Those of you who are with us in Dallas, well, what do you suppose would happen in your world if you arrived in Orlando with 42 people in your group with you? I'll tell you what would happen. Their eyes, their ears, their hearts would get open. They would see the reality. They would do it for themselves, not for you. And suddenly you'd have income. Well, I was there. And I had my 42 people, and there were a couple of thousand people in the room. And though I didn't anticipate it and I wasn't prepared for it, I was asked if I would come up and comment for just a moment, because I had hit a few marks in that short period of time that most people don't hit. And so I was asked to come up, as we see happens all the time in the recognition section. Randy, come on up and tell these people how and why this is happening. And I'd been reflecting on Craig. And what Craig had said was, I'm committed because I have 10 kids. And I got on stage and I remember it still. And I said, well, I'm committed because I paid 10 points. What do I mean by that? I had a lot of equity in property at that point in time. And I'm not asking you to do this. I'm describing my experience. In fact, I want you to not do this. But I said, I'm committed because I came to this first event and my eyes and my ears and my hearts were open. I had a bunch of equity in real estate. I didn't have any income to support a conventional loan. And so I went to a hard money lender and I borrowed the amount of money that I believe would be required to get me across the bridge. And I paid 10 points. I paid 10% up front for that money and 10% each month ongoing for that money. I was committed because I paid 10 points. Craig was committed because he had 10 children. Now today I am committed. Not because I paid 10 points. I'm committed for much more the types of reasons that Craig was committed those days ago. I'm committed because I have a desire for more and more and more people to see and understand the absolute beauty and I consider majesty of the network marketing industry and the remarkable uniqueness of this company into that industry. I am committed because I have a great desire for Samantha and Bosco to have a predictable, big income stream year after year after year after year, if and when I am no longer able to provide income for them or I'm no longer on the face of the earth. I am committed I'm committed. And this next part is part of pride and ego. I am committed because I require of myself that this be the final great big exclamation point on my career. It gives me no satisfaction whatsoever to look back at the past and glory in those successes. That's the runway behind us. It's water into the bridge. I've already been paid for that. And so have you for anything we've done in the past. I am committed because I require that this become the single greatest personal and financial outcome of my life. Well, are you committed? If you are committed, then the things I will now describe to you are very, very simple. Remember, we are here in the United States of America. And in the United States of America, we have access to all of the company's product offerings and all except the live streaming, the live elevated trading platform. We have access to just about everything. Now, a few days ago, the company made an announcement, or they made it possible for us to have an annual as opposed to a monthly membership. In the last couple of days, I've made strong arguments as to how and why that makes sense. First of all, it falls directly into our process of helping people do what they want to do and do it for less money. Let me ask you this. Are you committed? Are you really? If you are committed and you're going to be here for the next 12 months because you're committed, then would it not make sense for you to have an annual membership instead of a monthly? You'll save 10% and you will never enroll another person ever who pays an annual membership if you are not an annual membership person. My strongest advice to you, if it's financially prudent, I do not want a single person to take an action that causes financial strain and stress. But I'll go back to the beginning. I'll ask you, are you committed? Well, if it's your determination that you are going to be here 12 months from now, irrespective of the various levels of success or lack thereof that you have, I will tell you that I am committed and I will be here 12 months from now. And I'll be here 12 months from now if my business growth is greater than I anticipated. And I'll be here 12 months from now if my business growth is less than I anticipated. I'll be here if the 12 months have all gone by without a bump or a bruise or a challenge. And I'll be here if there's been every challenge imaginable. Why? Because my desire for success is greater than any obstacle I've yet encountered in my life. And given the magnitude of some of the challenges I have encountered, it's pretty easy for me to forecast that I will have no challenge in the next 12 months that is greater than the challenges I've faced in my life. My desire for success is greater than any challenge I've faced so far. I believe my desire for success will prove again to be greater than any challenge that I might encounter. Therefore, I will be here, period. Well, if that's true of you, then is there a single reason, given financial ability, is there a single reason that you would not have an annual membership such that when your candidate arrives at a point of logical conclusion and says, what should I do? And then follows that up with, what did you do? Let it be that your answer is, well, when I got involved with the company, there was no annual membership. And so I enrolled, as Larry just suggested, for $79. You know what? Larry can be your sponsor. If you want me to be your sponsor, I'll no longer enroll people for $79 living in the United States of America. That's the truth. If you that is the truth. There'll be some people who choose not to do business with me because of that, but I have enrolled my last person domestically for $79. Person wants me to be their enroller, they're going to enroll with an annual membership because then I know that I've got a 12-month runway. I know that they're not going to be looking just like I do. I look at my credit card statements every month and I take a look at every single automatic debit that is there. And I say, is this a service that I'm using? If it's not a service that I'm using, why am I paying that money? Is it not entirely possible that a person could join us and in their first 30 days not go to a hotel room? Is that possible? It surely is. If they joined for just $79 and they didn't buy a value pack, is it entirely possible that they didn't have some remarkable product experience that changes the way they look or feel about themselves or improves their health? It's not only not possible, it's almost required. If they simply joined for $79, they didn't buy a value pack, you know what, 30 days later, they're gonna be looking at their credit card. They're gonna go, wow, I didn't stay in a hotel and I didn't do this and I didn't do that. They're going to click off. That's the truth. What if, on the other hand, they've made an annual commitment? Now there's no point in looking at the credit card statement at the end of the month. In a 12-month period of time, they will have an opportunity. I learned yesterday that 50% of all adults in America will stay in a hotel at least one time this year. 50%. And the Hotel Industry Association, in a survey, identified that 74% of that 50%, 74% of all people who stayed in a hotel so far in 2023 plan to spend more nights in hotels in the coming year. You see, if I've got a 12-month runway, if a person's paid an annual membership, sometime in the next 12 months, they're going to stay in a hotel. And when they do, they will find out, oh my gosh, there is value here. If a person on the point of enrollment acquires a value pack that is appropriate for him or her based upon their goals, financial circumstance, willingness to work, and proper business building strategy, if they did that, then I know they will have had a product experience that is remarkable. If a person uses Stellamar for the next 12 months, they are going to have a remarkable experience. If a person uses the melts for the next 12 months, they are going to have a remarkable experience. The product offerings that are held in our e-commerce site now, I literally I'm amazed at what the company's put together in such a short period of time. And because they have done such a remarkable job at populating that store for the last several months, I have complete total confidence, conviction that they will do a remarkable job over the coming 12 months. And so my question to you is, are you committed? Well, don't say yes with your lips, say yes with your actions. If you know you're going to be here 12 months from now, then upgrade today. Go to that little blue swish up in the upper right corner of your back office and upgrade today. In so doing, your next 12 months will cost you 10% less than they otherwise would. And if you have not yet acquired a value pack that is consistent with your goals, your willingness to work, your financial circumstance, and business building duplication principles, if you haven't done it yet, do it today, such that the very next time you meet with a candidate, they say, well, what did you do? Well, here's the truth. When I enrolled, there wasn't an annual membership fee, so I enrolled for $79. The moment the company made an annual membership and resulting 10% a reduction in cost available to me, because I'm committed, I upgraded that day. And what did I do? Well, I couldn't acquire a value pack the day that I enrolled in the company because there was no such thing. But today there is. And so as soon as the company introduced the Stellamar bundles, as soon as the company introduced the Melts bundles, then I acquired the value pack. Then I acquired the value pack that would be consistent with my goals and objectives. You see, people will do what you do. They will not do what you encourage them to do. And by the way, terminology and verbiage is important. If what is financially prudent for you and your family is to acquire the smallest value pack, acquire that. Don't acquire something that's not appropriate for you and your family. Acquire the one that is appropriate for you. But when the question is then posed, and when you arrived at your point of logical conclusion, what did you do? Well, very simply, I joined as an annual member because I'm committed. And then I acquired the largest value pack that was appropriate for my family financially. Notice I said the largest. If it's easy to buy the starter pack, the smallest one, stretch yourself a little bit and buy the middle one. If it's easy to buy the middle one, stretch yourself and buy the bigger one. Why? Because people will act upon the guidance, not just the guidance, people will act upon the example that you set. Are you committed? It's one thing to say it with your lips. It's another thing to evidence it with your actions. You all get a chance to evidence with your actions the next 15 minutes. Upgrade, become an annual member. Upgrade, become an annual member. Others will do the same. And suddenly you'll have a preponderance of people in your group enrolling others with an annual membership fee, and then they will receive a $255 direct sales commission as opposed to receiving a $25 direct sales commission. Enroll people with an appropriate value pack, and then you'll have people, the preponderance of whom, if the program is properly described, will join with an executive pack, and now every enrollment will result in a $255 direct sale commission from the annual fee and a $320 direct sale commission as a result of acquiring that executive pack. And suddenly you've got a person who, having enrolled only 3 people, has earned over $1,500. Proof of income is the lubrication that has and will always lubricate the wheels of all productivity and home-based business. People get involved with us because they want to be part of a community. They get involved with us because they want to learn, grow, develop, and become. They get involved with us because they want to use products. But folks, at the end of the day, why do they get involved with us? Because they want to make money. And so the actions that you take will set in motion the cascade of activities that results in the people in your group either making money more quickly or less quickly. And do not fool yourself and think for a moment that you will have the persuasion abilities to cause others to do something that is different fundamentally from what you have done. That will never work. Now I see that my time is basically spent. I've already talked longer than Larry asked me to. I would remind you all that at this moment in time, we have a couple of days left with the double BV promotion that exists right now on all the Melts bundles. Those of you who have accomplished your preliminary goal for the month, I was fortunate, Samantha and I were fortunate. We hit the rank of 5-star before the Dallas convention. On the way home from Dallas, we made a decision that we would become regionals by the end of the month. We made the decision, and I didn't look at the end of the month. I instead said, what is the very most that we can do every day? What are the behaviors that would cause the greatest outcome every day? And then again, thanks to the unbelievable accomplishment, achievement, effort, and commitment evidenced by people in our group, the positive side effect of that was that we became a regional affiliate just a couple of days after the convention. Now, I have observed some, and by the way, I'm only complimentary of all of you. This is a volunteer army. Whatever you're doing, it's based upon your goals and objectives. And I'm not trying to change your goals and objectives, but I have observed some who, having hit their objectives, said, okay, and they took a breath of air and they just kind of stopped. I've observed some whose volume hasn't gone up a nickel. since they hit the rank. I've observed some who have not enrolled another person since they hit the rank. That's okay. That's not okay for me. That's okay for you. If that's consistent with your goals and objectives, that's not okay for me. For me, what I've done is continue to push as hard as I could push, not pushing other people, pushing myself. I've continued to push myself as hard as I possibly could. Why? Because that rank that I accomplished, that rank that Samantha and I accomplished a week or 2 or 3 days after the convention, one of the primary contributors to that was a double BV promotion on the melts. That's not going to happen next month. I do not. In fact, I refuse to accept an outcome that would cause us to not qualify at that rank in the coming month. That is why I will push the last second. We today are already, we're already 40%, 35% past the volume required to be a regional. My objective is to get at least, this is my objective, we'll see if it happens. My objective is to exceed the rank requirement by at least 50%. Why? Because I don't want to have to be backing and filling and trying to get twice as much productivity next month because there's no double volume promotion. Understand that if you're hitting a rank this month because of a double volume promotion, it's going to take twice as much productivity next month to maintain that rank. It is not acceptable to me to hit a rank based upon a volume promotion and then not sustain the rank the next month. And so next month, it'll be based what? Not upon member buying as a result of promotion. In the month of October, it'll be based upon member activities, which result in a more rapid flow of new member applications, more new members who are joining as annual affiliates, annual memberships, and who are acquiring the appropriate value pack. That will be required in order for us to maintain rank in the coming month. It is a shallow victory to attain a rank as a result of a volume promotion and not retain the rank the coming month. Every single person who had a rank advancement this month must be resolute in the idea that now it is not about member buying. Now it is about setting in motion a pattern of activities, which results in a more rapid flow of new member applications, people who place appropriate initial orders and make appropriate decisions about an annual or a monthly membership. That then completely validates the decision that you made to acquire an executive bundle, because now you have products on hand so that you can effectively conduct home business reviews, or what Samantha and I choose to now call them. What do we call them? We call them anti-aging and pro-cognition product showcases, which then lead into the development of a business message. That's what I call them. Okay, Samantha calls it what she wants to call it. That's what I call it. And my objective is very simple. What I want is a more rapid flow of new member applications for you. What I want is to have a larger majority of people who join you becoming annual members. Why? So you've got a 12-month runway so that they're not making a decision about whether or not to remain in the business every 30 days. Give us a 12-month runway. Give me a willing, committed person who is eager to learn and develop skills. Give us a 12-month runway. They'll be with us for life. Give me a 30-day runway. They might be with us for 30 days. They might be with us for 60. They might be with us for 90. I would encourage you all to contemplate, what do you want your group to do? Do you want your group to be annual members? Do you want to know that they're committed for a year? Is that what you want your group to do? Well, then what is the logical thing for you to do? Do you want your group to acquire a value pack that is consistent with their goal, their financial circumstance, their willingness to work? If the answer to that is yes, well, then what should you do? Do you want your group to develop skills? No one's developing a skill right now by listening to me talk. You can gather knowledge. You won't develop a skill. Later on this evening, Holly and Thomas Buck in Grand Junction will develop skills. Why? Because they'll open their home and invite people over to learn about it, and they'll present the business with me there to help. You see, the skill to do comes from the doing. You can gather knowledge listening to me talk. You can gather knowledge listening to the leader talk. You'll never develop skill listening to their talk. But so now if you acquired a value pack, you acquired a bundle, that's great news. What is the purpose of the bundle? The purpose of the bundle is to allow you to further develop the business. That happens by, Samantha chooses to call it a home business review. I choose to call it at this moment in time because I want to put a focus on these impact products, which I think are so remarkable, an anti-aging and pro-cognition product showcase, which leads to an affiliate opportunity and the ability to generate royalties as a result thereof. My time is spent, folks, and as I indicated, I'm going to go and help Thomas and Holly this evening. I cannot wait to go there and personally congratulate them for becoming a 4-star affiliate in our company. Truly remarkable accomplishment. They went from 2-star to 3-star to 4-star in about a 15-day period or a 10-day period. Why? Because they're committed. That's why, because they're committed. And they made the required sacrifice to be with us in Dallas. They made the required sacrifice to have someone with them in Dallas. They made the required sacrifice to acquire the bundle that was appropriate for them. And on it goes. I want so much to scream your name from the rooftops. I want so much to talk about the things that you are doing to benefit others. I want so much to talk about the positive financial and personal outcome you're having as a direct result of the positive financial and personal outcomes other people are having. Now, to my counterparts around the world, I focus this message on people in the United States who have access to the entire product offering. To those who are outside of the United States, I will tell you that there is an even greater demand for the annual membership. Why? Because that annual membership, when replicated, even in absence of the value packs, until such time as those value packs are available in your community, in your marketplace, the annual membership gives people a long enough runway, as I've described, and the annual membership will cause the income earned in month 1, 2, 3, and 4 to be multiples of what can be earned minus the annual membership. And so for any of you who are in economies for which that is appropriate, and by the way, in every economy, there are a percentage of people for which that exact thing is appropriate. I would encourage you all, give my strongest advice, to make the annual membership be the default. That's the default. And then the fallback from the default is the monthly membership for whom the annual is not appropriate. And once again, this is my last time I'll say it. Evidence your willingness. Evidence your willingness now. Click on that blue switch at the top of your back office, go to profile and account, become an annual member. Then send me a text and tell me you did, so I can personally congratulate you and thank you. Everybody, God bless you all. Have the best day in history. I think that I was instructed, just go ahead and close this out.
Randy,
so
I just want to say, spot
please, Liz.
on. I'm getting blown up texts of how excited they are about everything that you had to say. We so appreciate you. You're always so incredible. I mean, I cannot tell you. I know everybody, especially the leadership team, is so grateful that you and Samantha are here. Doing such a great job to just always make the company look so great. We are great, but you always make us look great. And then you're always doing some incredible things to just make things advance so much faster. So we thank you today. We'll get this recording out and we appreciate everything you do for us. And you're awesome.
Thank you so much, Liz. And thank you to everybody. Have a fantastic day. Show some willingness. See you later. Bye-bye.